everybody, it's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, and this is FLIX Fix. We're doing another trailer review because this seems to be the thing that we're doing right now. I promise you guys when I get back out to the movies, I will give you a review of something. I might get out to see Knock at the Cabin this weekend. If not, the first review you'll probably get from me is probably going to be Ant-Man Quantumania, which I've been saying for the past couple of pods now. Gonna do another very simple, I don't know what this is, and that's probably the point. Gonna do a quick reaction to the trailer for Stephen King's The Boogeyman, which comes out June 2nd, and one thing I gotta say, before anything else, it's another horror movie. It's another fucked up movie. If you guys haven't figured it out yet, that's kind of my niche. We did the Scream movie. I didn't do one for Knock at the Cabin because I wasn't doing these yet when those trailers first started coming out. As I've said before, I will be doing ones for like Saw 10 when they come around and all that type of thing, you know. 65 looked kind of fucked up, Sick looked kind of fucked up for all kinds of different reasons. It was put to me in the past couple of days that we might get a big boom in horror movies, specifically this year, to make up for the fact that there haven't been very many in the past couple of years. And I hadn't really noticed that because I will find the fucked up movies wherever they are. But the idea that was put to me, and I couldn't even tell you right now who put it in my head, was we didn't do super heavy, super slashery, super gory movies for a while because we were in the depths of the pandemic and people were bummed enough. Give them action, give them happiness, give them heroes, give them superheroes, per se. So now that the world's kind of okay again, even though you're not really allowed to say that, let's do all the fucked up shit. Again, Knock at the Cabin doesn't exactly look like a happy movie. The Last of Us, as a TV show that I'm watching, you guys know from the last pod, isn't a very happy movie anyway. The Boogeyman, which I'm about to talk about in a second, Halloween Ends, was kind of a bummer for a bunch of different reasons. Saw 10 is always super uplifting, is it not? Etc., etc., etc. But if the presumed hold-off of horror that I didn't really notice at the time because I was angry about other things leads us to a big horror boom this year, that's going to be absolutely fantastic, and you guys won't be able to get me to shut up. Also, in the realm of horror, what can you say about the Boogeyman? The Boogeyman is such a thing that sort of seeps into everybody's consciousness, everybody's vernacular, that it shows itself in Halloween. Halloween is one of like the pillar movies of horror, and what do they say? What do the kids say to the babysitter in Halloween? Don't go to that house, the Boogeyman lives there. It's the catch-all, the universal, whatever you're afraid of, whatever's going bump in the night, it's the Boogeyman. Every other movie where they're looking for something else, it's like, okay, where's your Boogeyman? Very, very cool. Very, very awesome thing. Now, as far as the trailer goes, there's a lot of tropes. There's a lot of themes that we see in a lot of these movies. But I do want to say, it starts off in the little kid's room. The kid's scared of something being in the closet and whatever. And there's, you know, there's night lights and the dad saying goodnight to the kid. And it's very what you would expect of a horror movie. But what I find fun, and at least from an aesthetic point of view, and it goes throughout the trailer, so I hope it sort of carries throughout the movie as well, is this kid, whoever the main character is, has this nightlight that's basically like a ball that they're just holding on to. Like, it's not a lamp on a table, it's not a lamp that, you know, you hit the light switch, etc. It's basically like a ball of light that they're sort of cuddling up with, and they roll it around, and they do that, and that visual aesthetic choice allows for a lot of really cool things in a horror movie. It rolls under the bed at one point. They do this really cool inverted perspective when she looks up under the bed, because obviously she's upside down while she looks under the bed, but also, you know, it's sort of like Dutch angling a movie when something goes completely upside down. It's your visual cue to the audience that things are not quite all what they seem, and also things might also be coming up from underneath, which is a really good, really good way to start. Obviously, you get the typical idea that comes in a lot of horror movies, and a lot of sci-fi as well, like a lot of zombies, vampires, that type of thing. There's always the one person that knows something's wrong, and nobody believes them, and nobody believes them, and nobody believes them, until everybody's been bitten by the zombies, or whatever the case may be, and all the people that didn't believe them, for whatever reason, either they're crazy, or they're young, or they're whatever. By the end, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. There's built-in guilt. Now, what I will say is I did actually, because the Boogeyman, like I say, it's this sort of this superfluous idea that exists, but as far as Stephen King's story, The Boogeyman, I'm not particularly familiar, so I went to good old Wikipedia, because when does that ever lie to us? And the only thing it says, it's got one line of description, and the description says, right from Wikipedia, so if I'm wrong, then they're wrong. Still reeling from the tragic death of their mother, a teenage girl and her little sister find themselves plagued with a sadistic presence in their house, and they struggle to get their grieving father to pay attention before it's too late. Now, that's pretty generic for a horror movie, but I do like that it's going to play with a lot of different things. You're going to be playing with grief, like they did in Megan. Go back and watch my review of Megan. I think they played with grief fantastically in that, but it's also, it also ties the grief into this. Horror movies are supposed to tell you a lesson. If you've ever watched the movie Urban Legends, and it said, young parents, mind your children or harm will come their way. So, take that. Take the idea that this guy is grieving. Take the idea that this guy is not there for his children who need him while his children are grieving. Now he's not there for them at all, as they try to tell him that, hey, there's a monster in the closet, there's a monster under the bed, my little glowy, whatever you want to call it, my little glowy nightlight rolled under the bed and somebody threw it back. That didn't happen in the trailer, but it's going to happen at some point. And you pull away from that scene in the trailer, and obviously you got all the adults during the day saying, oh, those things aren't real, those things are made up in your head. And then you've got the dad who's frazzled and stressed, and when you don't want to deal with something, when you don't want to be there for your kids, what do? You reach out to some sort of expert. Either it's the I'm sorry, in a lot of possession movies it's the Hispanic housekeeper, which is kind of racist, but we'll leave that aside. Or you go to the creepy guy, or you go to the guy on the Ghostbuster infomercial, or you go to a therapist who tells them that it's all in their head so that the monster can come and kill them faster. I don't know who he's talking to on the couch, but he's obviously made out to be the creepy dude. He's got a little bit of the emo haircut, and he's the one that says, what is this? Because his kid has drawn him something, and it's this sort of, I don't want to use the term, but it's sort of arachnid, it's sort of Lovecraftian sort of sketch of something, and he hands it back to the dad, and he says, that's what comes for kids when their parents aren't paying attention. And the heart-wringer of the entire trailer is the kid looking up at somebody, because they're looking up obviously into the perspective of the camera, but they're talking to either the dad or the expert or whatever adult is talking to them at the time, and it's just this kid talking in a really soft voice who's obviously really upset, saying, you believe me, don't you? And then cut to a totally separate scene, but it cuts really well, and it's just the kid getting enveloped into the absolute darkness. Now, you don't see very much of the actual Boogeyman in the trailer that I'm going to link. I'm going to link, as I've done for all the other ones, I'm going to put the link to the actual trailer in the comment section down below. It is from 20th Century Studios, so if you want to go to their YouTube channel and watch it, or go to the link that I'm going to put down below, you can watch the trailer itself. They don't show very much, which is key for a horror movie. Don't show anything, really. Jaws couldn't afford a shark, so they just made the fin, and unbeknownst to everybody down at the time, because that's a fair few years ago, hardly showing anything was what made it effective. Don't show the whole dinosaur, show its foot, show the eye really close to the windshield, etc. Was what made the practical effects of the first Jurassic Park movie really good. So show less, tell more, build more. Don't show the monster, show the reaction to the monster, because the reaction to the monster we can identify with. We can't identify with giant mutant guy with razor sharp claws standing in front of you, because that's going to be CGI at the end of the day. That'll be in the final act, in the final fight, whatever. But show me a scared kid. Show me a scared dad that's scared for his kid. Show me a dad who's mourning his wife, who's so distracted that he can't be there for his kids and is now guilty for the danger that he has put themselves in. That is something you can all relate to, but because I'm that guy and I want to look behind the curtain a little bit, I have gone and Googled what some of the concept art is for the Boogeyman, for this movie, whether it's accurate, whether it's not accurate. Do yourself a favor, if you want to keep it a mystery, keep it a mystery. If you don't want to keep it a mystery, Google the Boogeyman 2023 Stephen King concept art, or any combination of those words, and some of the ideas that are out there, some of the concept art that's been thrown out there is pretty fucking cool. So, it's a general ghost story. but it seems like it's going to be a general ghost story with a little bit of heart behind it. And who doesn't love a good story about the Boogeyman? Are you guys going to go see it? Do you want me to do a review for it? Are you guys excited about it? Let me know down in the box below. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but right now I am out of here. Bye, guys.